With enormous, deadly sharp canines, this saber-toothed cat is well known as one of the most powerful animals to ever go extinct. But what exactly did it do with those 7-inch long fangs coming out of its jaw? Was it an isolated predator, or did it live in prides like modern lions? We've got all the answers for you. But first, we must warn you. While Smilodon is related to today's cats, it was sadly nothing like your typical house kitty, so don't be fooled by its furry appearance, cause there was nothing cuddly about it. The name literally means deadly knife tooth, but you'll be shocked as we reveal the real purpose behind those finely serrated fangs. Now, the Smilodon's often compared to a modern lion in size, but its build was actually very different. These cats were hugely powerful and muscular beyond comparison. They had 3 different species. Smilodon Gracilis or S. fragilis was the smaller one, living from 2.5 to 0.5 million years ago. Smilodon Populator, found in East and South America, was a bigger cat, living from 1 million years to 10,000 years ago. It was hefty, measuring 3 meters in length and standing at 1.25 meters tall. It weighed between 220 to 400 kilograms, making it one of the heaviest cats ever. Its upper canines were incredibly long, reaching up to 28 centimeters. The third and the final species was Smilodon Fatalis, or S. californicus, and it was famous for being found in the Rancho La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles. This cat was similar in size to a female lion, but heavier, weighing about 200 kilograms and standing around 1 meter tall at the shoulders. It lived from 1.6 million years to 10,000 years ago. Now, many Smilodon bones have been found in California, but these big cats roamed freely throughout both North and South America during the Ice Age. Other Ice Age carnivores, like the short-faced bear and direwolf, are closely related to modern bears and wolves, but no true descendants or relatives of the saber-toothed cats survive today. If we talk about its appearance, Smilodon was about the size of a lion, but wouldn't have looked like one. Its body proportions and likely its gait and behavior would have been more similar to a black bear than to a lion. It had massive arms and forearms, a huge chest, relatively short and stout back legs, and grappling hooks on its thumbs. The neck muscles were also much larger than those of modern cats, implying that Smilodon had a pretty powerful bite. Out of the 3 species, Smilodon Populator was the largest saber-toothed tiger, measuring about 3 meters in length, standing 1.25 meters tall, and weighing about 400 kilograms. That is to say, it was a bit larger than a modern-day lion, and much heavier. It had short, muscular legs, and a bobbed tail similar to a modern bobcat. This ferocious cat's powerful front legs were adapted for springing onto prey, but it wasn't very fast, and couldn't chase down swift animals like deer. But you'll be shocked to find out what it was capable of hunting. Its skull was 31 centimeters long and had 2 huge saber-like canine teeth that were serrated and oval in cross-section. Remember Diego from the movie Ice Age? Yes, just like him. Many Smilodon fossils have been found with broken canines, indicating tough encounters during hunts. For instance, a fossil wolf was found with a Smilodon tooth fragment embedded in its skull. Another Smilodon recovered from the La Brea tar pits had a fatal puncture wound from another of its own kind, suggesting they might have engaged in fierce fights. Scientists can also calculate Smilodon's build from fossils, but it's much harder to determine what its skin and fur would have looked like based on modern cats. Their coats could have had various markings designed for optimal hunting camouflage. While they probably didn't have stripes like tigers, if they had any patterns on their fur, they were more likely spots. That's because the environment at Rancho La Brea, where many Smilodon fossils were found, wouldn't have been suitable for striped camouflage. Next, let us introduce you to this cat's insanely flexible jaw. Seriously, you'll be surprised how far these cats could open their jaws. They had the impressive ability to open them up to a whopping 120 degrees, which is far more than today's lions, as they can only manage about 65 degrees. On top of this crazy flexibility, Smilodon's strong neck and jaw muscles enabled them to stab its prey with its deadly maxillary canine saber teeth. However, its jaws were relatively weak due to its long canines, and that resulted in a bite strength comparable to that of a large dog and much weaker than that of a lion. It may have used its front incisor teeth to tear strips of flesh from the bones of its prey. Their massive teeth are often compared to a stag's antlers, suggesting they were specialized for killing. Honestly, it's hard to imagine these large canines having any other purpose than piercing thick-skinned prey. Smilodon Fatalis was one of the many saber-toothed predators that once ruled the planet. While today's big cats don't have saber teeth, these specialized features have come and gone in ancient mammals several times. It is believed that these long teeth evolved to help the cat hunt tough-skinned prey. DNA analysis of Homotherium, a cousin of Smilodon, showed it mainly hunted mammoths. This suggests saber-toothed features evolved multiple times to tackle thick-skinned prey. With canines twice as long as Homotherium's and a strong body, Smilodon might have specialized in hunting not just young mammoths, but adults too. Research also suggests that Smilodon could shear off flesh from kills using its carnassial teeth. But it's unclear if these cats could survive after losing their teeth. The common belief is that they'd probably die. There's another pretty interesting fact about their teeth. Smilodon cubs have been found in the Brea tar pits, and analysis of their teeth revealed they were born with serrated milk sabers, just like hyenas. These specialized teeth likely helped them eat portions of a carcass that adults couldn't. It took about 3 years for Smilodon cubs to reach full maturity, with their adult sabers growing in around 1.5 years of age. It's been revealed that their teeth grew at a rate approximately double that of their living relatives, but still took years to fully emerge. This study introduced a new technique combining isotopic analysis and X-ray imaging, which for the first time provides specific ages for developmental events in Smilodon, particularly in their teeth. The research estimates that the permanent upper canines of S. fatalis erupted at a rate of 6 millimeters per month, twice as fast as the growth rate of an African lion's teeth. However, the dagger-like canines of the extinct cat weren't fully developed until about 3 years of age. Now this is pretty darn important for predators like big cats, because for these guys, an important factor determining an individual's full hunting ability is the time it takes for their weapons, which are their teeth, to grow. Now for the real use of these teeth. What good were they? The saber-toothed cat was particularly known for its ability to take down large prey. Its iconic massive canines, the largest of any mammal, were impressive weapons. But scientists have long debated how these teeth were actually used. A new study on Smilodon suggests that despite their size, their bite was surprisingly weak. So, instead of being used for overpowering prey, these teeth were likely precision weapons. They would deliver a single, final wound to a subdued victim, similar to an assassin's stiletto, rather than a swordman's blade, if you know what I mean. Before the study, people had different ideas about how Smilodon hunted. Some thought it used its teeth to hang onto big prey, slash them open, or impale them when jumping. One idea was that it aimed for the throat for a quick kill, unlike modern lions that suffocate their prey. But to really understand how this cat liked to kill, we have to know how strong its bite was. That's what would really settle the debate about its hunting techniques. So paleontologists started by studying Smilodon's fossilized skull. But even then, opinions varied depending on which part of the skull they focused on. Some thought it had small jaw muscles, while others believed its bite could have been powered from the neck. The lower jaw appeared smaller but strongly built, which supported the idea of a powerful bite. In order to get clearer answers, Colin McHenry and his team from the University of Newcastle, Australia, decided to digitally test Smilodon's skull. They used a technique called finite element analysis, which is often used in mechanical engineering and car crash testing. Using CT scans, they made detailed 3D models of Smilodon and a lion's skulls. Because both predators weighed about the same, they probably hunted similar-sized prey. So, they simulated the jaw and neck muscles of both animals and tested their bites on a computer. The results showed that the lion had a much stronger bite than Smilodon in almost every aspect. While the lion could chomp down with a force of over 3,000 newtons or 300 kilograms, Smilodon managed only around 1,000 newtons. Its jaws were surprisingly underpowered for its size, biting with about the same force as a smaller jaguar or even a dog. But factoring in the powerful neck muscles, Smilodon's bite force increased to a more respectable 2,000 newtons. This tells you that it likely bit from the neck rather than the jaw. Now, even though this helped the Smilodon get a bit of an upgrade in its reputation, it turns out it wasn't much of a runner when it came to biting prey. Unlike lions, which can grab onto fast-moving buffalo without a hitch thanks to their strong skulls, Smilodon would have been in big trouble if it tried the same trick. Even with a good 200 kilograms of force pushing sideways on its teeth, Smilodon's teeth and skull would have been really strained. Trying to tackle big prey that were still moving would have been risky business, possibly leading to broken teeth or a busted skull. This not-so-powerful bite of the saber-toothed cat means a lot of the ideas about how it hunted are off the table. It couldn't chase after running prey, and if it tried to slash at the belly, it might have ended up with broken teeth if the prey fought back. Smilodon's best bet was to use its teeth to finish off prey that was already caught and couldn't move. It was a one-shot deal, saved for taking down prey that had already been tackled and pinned, preferably at the head. Thankfully, the rest of Smilodon's body was perfectly suited for this kind of hunting. Its build was more like a bear than a cat, and it had extra-large dew claws on its thumbs. These features would have provided enough strength and force to take down large animals in a way that today's lions just can't manage. Lions typically take down prey with a prolonged suffocating bite that can last for as long as 13 minutes. But for Smilodon, once its saber teeth pierced the carotid artery, the fate of its prey would have been sealed in just seconds. Now, which poor animals ended up on the receiving end of these hellish teeth? Well, by now you probably know that Smilodons were carnivores. Of course, their big, unique canines are the biggest clue to this. Given the size of their teeth and their strong skeletons, they definitely hunted large mammals such as bison, horses, camels, giant ground sloths, and possibly mammoths and mastodons. Many scientists think Smilodons were ambush predators. They had strong, muscular front legs, which suggests they might have pounced on their prey suddenly and killed them quickly. After tackling its prey with its powerful front legs, Smilodon would use its strong neck muscles to drive its saber teeth into either the neck or belly of its victim. But there's debate among scientists about which area it targeted. Some scientists argue that targeting the belly is risky, as it leaves the cat vulnerable to a counterattack, such as a kick from the prey. Additionally, stomach bites with saber teeth typically only cause shallow wounds. On the other hand, a bite to the throat can swiftly paralyze the prey by severing important blood vessels and the trachea, while also controlling its movement. So, Smilodon's large canines were likely adapted for making quick kills compared to modern cats. These powerful weapons allowed it to dispatch its prey swiftly and consume its meal without worrying about other predators stealing it. But where was it spotting and hunting all this big prey? Well, luckily for this cat, North America was teeming with large herbivores during the Pleistocene. This provided a massive food supply to hungry prehistoric predators like Smilodon. These cats liked to live in warm climates and inhabited various regions across the American continents. As mentioned earlier, an analysis of isotopes tells us that Smilodon mainly preyed upon ungulates like camels, horses, and bison, but it also included armored Glyptotherium in its diet. These big cats preferred areas with dense vegetation, likely living in forested habitats. In South America, Smilodon also hunted animals such as Macrauchenia, Toxodon, and horses. However, they faced tough competition from other predators like dire wolves, American lions, jaguars, Homotherium, and short-faced bears, which shared their range on both continents. Now, Smilodon evolved and primarily inhabited North America, so when North and South America connected during the Pliocene and formed a land bridge, Smilodon became part of the Great American Exchange. While it's often thought to be the main reason for the extinction of animals like Thylacosmilus and the Phorushasid terror birds, this isn't accurate. In fact, Smilodon Gracilis lived alongside the Phorushasid titanus and Thylacosmilus. and Thylacosmilus went extinct about 4 million years before Smilodon evolved. Now the question is, how did these cats live? Did they live in prides like lions, or did they form packs like wolves? Well, Smilodon evolved to target the biggest of animals in its environment. This meant brute force and killing power might not have been enough. A new kind of killing strategy was required. Bison, horses, camels, giant ground sloths, and mammoths were potential prey. But unless Smilodon hunted together, these giants were formidable opponents. Now, most modern big cats, like tigers, are solitary and hunt alone. Only lions, which live in prides, collaborate to take down very big animals. While there's no definitive proof that saber-toothed cats hunted in packs, clues can be found in the bones at the Brea tar pits. Fossil remains of 2,500 individual saber-toothed cats have been excavated there, outnumbering prey almost 10 to 1. Often, several saber-toothed cat skeletons are found with a single large herbivore's bones, suggesting they were social animals. Some scientists do believe Smilodon lived in social groups, like modern lions. A lion pride typically consists of females living with females doing most of the hunting. Group living provides advantages such as hunting larger game and feeding injured members. And we also have evidence from Smilodon remains at Brea suggesting these cats could survive severe injuries with the help of their group members. But not everyone agrees with this theory. Some argue that social interaction is rare among carnivores, and it's more likely that injured members would be eaten rather than nursed back to health. Which brings us to our next theory that Smilodon may have lived more like modern wolves, with monogamous pairs lasting a long time. This is because, unlike lions, both male and female Smilodons were similar in size and had the same formidable teeth. This points to the fact that maybe they didn't have distinct roles like those seen in lion prides. Finding similar giant canines in both sexes also rules out the idea of these teeth being male ornaments. Now, let's dig into the story of how people first found out about Smilodon. In 1830, a Danish scientist named Peter Wilhelm Lund found and described the first Smilodon Populator fossil in Brazil. He called this group of animals Smilodon in 1842. After this first discovery, other similar cats were found too. In 1869, another kind called Smilodon Fatalis was dug up in North America by a scientist named Joseph Leidy. Then, in 1880, yet another type called Smilodon Gracilis was discovered by a scientist named Edward Drinker Cope. It was discovered that these big cats lived pretty long ago and were found in different parts of the world like Eurasia, North America, and South America. Out of these three, Smilodon Fatalis is the one most people know about in North America. Lots of them were found in a place called Rancho La Brea in California, where there are sticky pits of tar. Scientists used the bones of these animals to figure out how they are related to the animals we see today. But because the bones are so old, there's not a lot of information scientists could get from them. So it was assumed that these cats, like all big and small cats, belong to the family called Felidae and the group called Carnivora. An early analysis of the DNA of these creatures suggested they were closely related to modern-day cats like lions and tigers. But recent, more detailed research showed that Smilodons weren't actually close relatives of these cats. Instead, they belong to a group called Machaerodontidae, which is pretty different from the group that modern cats belong to. Now, that's all good, but then how exactly did these cats get wiped off the planet? Saber-toothed cats disappeared along with other big animals about 12,000 years back, during a time called the Quaternary Extinction. Some say it was because of climate changes, or humans hunting them down. Old studies, especially looking at teeth from the Brea tar pits, made people think these cats had a tough time finding food. They saw lots of broken teeth and figured the cats were biting into bones out of desperation. But a fresh look at the evidence tells a different story. Researchers now suggest something else. Instead of struggling to find food, the saber-toothed cats might have been pretty skilled at hunting big prey, like mammoths and giant sloths. Their big bodies and huge teeth probably helped with this hunting style. Surprisingly, despite their fierce look, their teeth were actually quite fragile compared to smaller predators. This means their broken teeth might have come from hunting. not from chewing bones. These new findings change how we understand these ancient hunters. It tells us that their extinction might not have been just because they couldn't find enough food. Further research on other big predators from the same time will likely give us more clues about why these ferocious cats disappeared. In the end, Smilodon, with its massive size, 7 inches long canines, and unique hunting adaptations, stood as a formidable predator of the late Pleistocene era. Despite its eventual extinction, this big cat's legacy lives on through the countless fossils that have been discovered. If you want to check one out, head up the Carnegie Museum of Natural History in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for a peek. What modern-day animal do you think would be the closest match to the hunting prowess of Smilodon? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy learning about ancient creatures, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more cool stuff about the past.